I just sent you a text. I just sent you a WhatsApp. I just sent you a WhatsApp for sure. I don't know where it is. On the WhatsApp, I sent you one just now.
The WhatsApp.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Take a look.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Where is that? No, I just sent you. No, no.
No? Didn't you write
Okay.
the picture?
This is it.
Where is there?
She went to.
She's not coming?
No.
Okay. So I will introduce you. First of all, I had another tour and I didn't make orders, so forgive me. I was busy answering WhatsApp all day. This is Esti, Avrumi, Danielle, Nina, and Steven, and I'm Dina.
Very good.
So I'm so happy you came. I'm so happy you came. And I have a phone right now. I will just. My daughter. היי נוני, תקשיבי לי בסיור, עוד שעתיים, טוב? ביי ביי. My daughter Dafna, another D. It is a crazy day because all of you came to the cruise. I don't know, Danielle, if you go with the cruise now. So I just...
Are you going on the cruise?
Yes.
So
We just got in there in the morning.
oh, that's tough.
We left JFK 11:45 on Mosey Tisha B'Av Eve. Yeah.
We took a 7:35 Newark flight.
Oh, so you guys settled down already?
Yeah.
Dropped our luggages in the hotel.
And ran.
That's it.
And not even checked in because they don't have the room ready.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, so
We'll sleep tomorrow.
Okay. So here we are in Barcelona, in the center of Barcelona, in Spain, in Iberian Peninsula. Spain has 46 million people divided into autonomous governments, autonomous communities, like states in America. And one of this community is Catalonia, with 8 million people, and Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia with 1.7 million and about 1.2 tourists like you. So you are part of a big group of visitors that we have here, especially in summer. And what's special about Catalonia is that it is in border with Mediterranean. It's an open city that people used to come and go, a lot of commerce. And near the border in France, a lot of French influence during the whole history. Now we will go to the city of Barcelona. No, first of all, history. The city was part of the Roman Empire that was all around Mediterranean, and the Romans built here a city in the year 10 BCE that was named Barquino. Anyone know Spanish? Barco? A boat. Barco is a
what is
boat.
10 BC?
But BCE, I say, before Common Era, 10. 10 years. It means 2,034 years ago, they started this city here in this place.
You got a bug on
Barco.
your glasses. You have a bug on your glasses.
Yeah.
Where it's going.
To fly, I know. I'm sweet. So Barquino means Barco is a boat, Barquino is a small boat. It shows us that the city was not important. You don't call an important city Barquino. And then it became Barquinona, and Barquinona became Barcelona. Today we are Barcelona. Everybody comes here. Normally people don't come here to see me. People come to see Gaudi. No, Gaudi is a great artist that we have, architect. But the city was not always like this, but I want to go continue that and we will go to Gaudi. So, the Roman control all around Mediterranean, here in the north, Barquino, and in 5th century some tribe made for Rome, like one of them were the Franks that came to France. The name France came from this group France. The Vandals that goes all around France and Spain and arrived to north of Africa, and the Visigoths made for Rome in 480 and continued here to Spain. And the Visigoths were here until the Muslim came from the south. The Muslim conquered all Iberian Peninsula in 3 years, from 711 to 740, and stayed here during 800 years until 1492. And they gave this Iberian Peninsula a name that they call Al-Andalus. Al-Andalus means in Arabic the Vandals. They pushed back the Vandals, and at this time, 8th century, really Muslims were much more cultured under Jews, under Muslim regime were much happier than under Christian regime. And this is the history of Spain. The history of Spain is about conquista of Muslims from south to north, and the reconquista of Christians from north to south. We Jews never conquered anything. We were not conquerors. We were always a small
Surviving
yes.
under different governments.
Exactly. But
In
what
Torah
we
we
did
conquered. In Torah we conquered.
in
Torah.
Torah, we conquer knowledge. You are right. We conquer important things, the brain. So, when the Muslims start to go into France, the French Caroling Empire made two borderlines that they call Marca Hispanica. This is the beginning of Catalonia, and we hear about the first Jew who lived here. He was the Kissinger of the time. He made negotiation between the Christian and the Muslim. His name was Judah Cotte, and the King of France wrote a letter of thanking to the Jewish community of Barcelona for his services. So they conquered and we made order in this conquering. And we hear about the first Jews just in 9th century. So we know the Jews arrived here much earlier, but you know that both Vandals and Visigoths were Vandals. They burned everything. The only thing that you cannot burn is a stone. So the first thing that they saw here, the first evidence that Jews were here is from 400 from Tarragona. They found a stone written in Hebrew from 400. And another document from 418 from Balear Island, they found in one of the monastery a document, a letter of a priest to the local women not to marry with Jews. So we understand the Jews were the merchant who came without the family, like in New York, like in America. The first came the men, they were handsome, and the local women could marry them, so the priests were worried about this. So now the question is, since when really Jews arrived here? So you know what, when we speak about diaspora, we speak about 70 ACE. The destruction of the Roman destroyed the second temple in Jerusalem, and Jews were taken as slaves to Rome. Have you seen Titus Arch? Have you been to Rome? Have you seen Titus Arch? No. So I will show you a very interesting relief on top of it. I have it here.
We'll be in Rome next Thursday.
Here you have an amazing relief that shows these are the Israelis who arrived to Rome as slaves, and you can see the menorah and the Aron HaKodesh. This is, I don't know what it is. This is on top of Titus Arch. The menorah is very clear. The other thing,
Titus Arch.
Titus Arch in the center of the old
Rome.
city in
Yeah,
Rome.
I'm sure we'll see it. I'm just going to write it down.
Yeah, you will be there. It is not very, very high arch, but this is very clear. So Jews were taken as slaves. Of course, the Rome couldn't take all of the Jews. The rest, people who were there, slowly started to raise Jewish communities, first in Middle East, then in north of Africa, then in other parts of Europe. I was in Prague, and they said Jews arrived there also probably in the time of the Roman. This is very important to understand later on. What Jews did all around. Jews had Jewish communities all around the Mediterranean and in Europe. Let's continue to the city of Barcelona. So we mentioned Gaudi. When you speak about Gaudi, an architect, you speak of the new city, the second half of 19th century. Before that, this was a very, very dense city, twice more dense than London, than Paris, 4 times more dense than London. What happened in a dense city? We saw it in the time of the corona, the raising of a lot of disease, a lot of epidemics, pandemic, whatever, and the raising of the anarchist movement. Anarchists are people who don't believe in the state. If the state is Spanish and they are Catalan, they have their own culture, their own language, their own beliefs, their own political ideas, they just don't believe in the state. And anarchist here was very, 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 very important until even in the civil war that was from 1936 to 39. Then it became dictatorship and they escaped. Anyway, so let's see this old city. I don't know if you heard, this is in bigger scale. You heard about the Rambla. The Rambla was here. The wall from 13th century that is on that side, and on the other side you see the zone that is named Raval, and in the middle of all this you see the old Roman city, and you see the Magen David, because quarter of the Roman city was a Jewish quarter on top of it. Mainly from 12th century, but they start before. So if we look in reality, we are in the center of the Roman city, we sit here, and all this part is where we will walk, and this part we will arrive in the end. This is Roman city. The section, the Jewish quarter. So we start to walk.
You said the Roman city?
On top of the Roman city, there was a Jewish quarter. The Roman were here until
Okay, that
5th century, and on top of it,
The Jews used to live here,
yes.
and then when they
When they
became
were
when they started killing the Jews
yes. I will tell you the history of
Spania. They gave it Spania, yeah?
No, I will tell you everything like a building. I started in 9th century, I mentioned what happened before, and slowly until today.
Today they have Jews somewhere else, but maybe it's down.
I will show you Jewish community here, and you will be amazed how many Jews live here. It's just not, we always speak about Sepharad. Sepharad means Spain in Hebrew. But here we are in Catalonia. They didn't consider themselves Sephardic, they consider themselves Catalans. But anyway, they were very important. I will not forget anything. Don't worry. It is always we arrive to a new place and we want to know who lives here, why Jews came here, etc. It started moving.
Today the Jews in Barcelona live somewhere else. They live not here.
Not here.
Like 1,000 or 2,000 Jews live over there.
I will tell you in the end.
Okay,
I will explain you later on why this is the first question that every Jew asks. But
okay.
Dina, what are these two buildings?
I will explain.
Oh, okay.
After you will know everything.
Okay.
So here we are. We stand here. This is a Roman city. You have the wall. Don't worry if there is need. I will extend the tour even to 3 or something like this, because I want you to be happy and to send us more people.
Thank you.
And because I want you to be happy. This is the main reason. Anyway, so here you have the Roman wall. Here you have 2 aqueducts that bring water to the city. A long street that go from there to there that was named Decumanus Maximus. And the street that cross here from north to south, it was named Cardo. You remember the Cardo in Jerusalem?
Uh-huh.
What does
Yes.
it mean, Cardo?
Shopping.
It was a shop. You're right. It was a marketplace, but you think you don't know what cardio, but you know what is cardio, and you know what is cardiologist.
Uh-huh.
Yes, the heart of the city.
Oh, smart.
So we stand on top of the heart of the city. You just stay here, and I move here like this because of these two buildings that you asked about.
Okay.
I call this the modern. Put stand like this, half it. So I call this section the new cargo, the modern cargo, because this is the autonomous government of Catalonia, and this is the city hall of Barcelona. Let's say New York State and New York City, the state and the city.
Interesting.
And I want to explain you about the flags, because the flags have a message. Flag of a country is like a logotype of a company. So let's start with the flag to the left. There is no wind, so I will show you here. This is the flag of Spain. And the story of this flag, first of all, you see Spain is monarchy. You see the crown. And these are the countries that compose Spain, which is Castilla, Leon, Navarra, and Aragon. We are in the part of Aragon. And then you have two pillars. One of these, the ribbon on top of it says plus, and the other says ultra.
The
What
monarchy
is plus
on their
ultra?
homes, the crown is on their homes.
The crown
Under-
here is
yes.
because we have here a dynasty, the Bourbon dynasty.
Like
and
England
the
has,
king,
like similar to
it's
what
similar a
England
little bit to England in a different way, but
has. They have a king over here.
we have a king and the queen, and their role is kind of representative. They are not inside
Yes,
the
they're not
politics.
making law, but
they're like
they are
Nasi in Israel, like where
like
they
a traditional mode, like in England, the same
exactly
idea.
the same idea. So what is, I said plus ultra. What does it mean plus ultra? Remember that there was time when the world was flat. If it was flat, you had to know where is the end. When it is round, you can take a cruise and you can go like this. When it is round, you have to know where it is. It was the end of Mediterranean. And the Roman and the Greek said, non terra plus ultra. Terra, tierra, land, no land furthermore, and now on, no land over there. There is a city here named Cadiz. This comes from Arameo Gadir. Gadir, Gader, fence. There is a city here named Agadir in Morocco. The fence, don't continue, don't try to continue, you will fall down. So Hercules, in order to know where this place is, put there two columns. One column was in the side of Europe, the other column was in the side of Africa. And our Columbus discovered, you will not fall down. There is, you can continue. So the Spanish just took out the non-terra and they left the plus ultra. The idea is we, Spain, control the plus ultra. We control the furthermore. We control the from now on. And the idea is that they were empires. They were big empires. No more. America won Spain in 1898 when they lost Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Philippines. But still, emotionally, culturally, because in South America people still speak Spanish, they consider themselves a cultural empire of South America and Central America. And this is the idea of the flag. By the way, Yehuda Halevi, what Yehuda Halevi said? ליבי במזרח ואני בסוף מערב. My heart is in the east and I'm in the end of the west. The end of the west was not America. The end of the west was this line. He lived in Toledo in 12th century. So you understand, this was the end. Now we go to the Catalan flag, completely different story. This flag, it tells the story of this man. This is Wilfrid the Hairy. You don't ask why he's called like that, because he was very hairy. And Wilfrid the Hairy is the first count inside the French Caroling Empire that said, I am Catalan. I'm not French and I'm not Spanish, I'm Catalan. We have our language. He is the father of the Catalan dynasty, and he fought from the side of the French against the Muslims, like everybody did, Christian Muslims. And he won the battle, but was seriously wounded, injured. So he asked for recognition in form of a shield, and the French gave him a golden shield, took his blood from the stomach and made 4 red lines of blood. The yellow represents the gold, the red represents the blood. And when the Catalan people want to show that they like to be independent, it's about 45% of the people, they raise their hand and they shout with 4 fingers, Independencia. Independence with 4 fingers. And in some of the places in the city, you have suddenly 4 pillars, without roof, without anything. It represents this flag. Now let's go to that one. This is the other flag on top of it. This is the flag of the city of Barcelona. So it has twice this flag. What is this flag? It sounds to you familiar, this one? No. The cross, a red cross. I will tell you what it is. It's a long story, but very interesting story. It started in 303. In 303, suddenly the Romans, who are pagans, for them God is everywhere, they understand that the Christian become a political power. It doesn't matter that they believe in Jesus. They can believe in whoever they want, but they threaten the Roman Empire. It all happened in eastern Turkey, in Cappadocia, and the Caesar, the name of the emperor is Diocletianus. He called his bodyguard, come here, Georgius, tell me who are the Christians in the army. And Georgius said, I'm Christian. So the Caesar cut his neck and he's taken to be buried where? Where is the real authentic St. George buried? In Lod in Israel. Why? Because he was born there. And this is the whole story. This is the bad story about bodyguard that was not faithful to the Caesar. Anyway, take care of your belonging. Take it like this.
Yeah.
This is a place that's from time to time.
Pickpockets everywhere.
The police sometimes we saw them run after one. Maybe, I don't know. So Georgius from Lod. And then 700 years later, the Conquista is in Jerusalem. Jerusalem was conquered by the Muslims, and the Christians worried about it. So they find, I speak about 11th century, they find a legend about a dragon that controls a city, and he asks for sacrifices, and they give him every day, every night a young woman, and then he wants a princess. And the people say, we will not give our princess to any dragon, and they send George to kill the dragon. He cut his neck, a lot of blood ran there, and a red rose come out. And this is a fantastic story. This is a metaphor of the fight of the good against the bad. We have it in Seder Pesach, we speak about Amalek. Amalek is a bad guy, he's a dragon. In Purim we speak about Haman Harasha. And in Christianity you can speak about, I don't know, bad guy like Hitler, or really Hitler, Hamas, Hezbollah. The bad guy is a dragon. So this was the flag that they went with it, the Crusader. This became the flag of England. And this is Barcelona, this is the same of Catalonia, St. George. And here is the city.
The church also has a lot of blood on their hands. The Christians.
Of course.
So
Religion.
use them. Use them
fanatism,
also.
The fanatism
Yeah.
for religion made so many big problems in history. You see,
Yes.
you saw it with Hamas.
Yeah.
They go with the religion.
But they, yes.
We never killed for Judaism. Never. Muslim and Christian. Anyway, so Barcelona is a city with the biggest number of dragons. So if you ask me to see more things, I don't know if it was you or you. Anyway, if you will see, I will show it. I know it's not about Judaism now, but I have to show you how it is represented by Gaudi very quickly. The story. I will skip something else, but I want you maybe because I see you're tired. I
They're
know.
not. Don't worry
You
about it.
want the candies or
No, we're good. We're good. Thank
or
you.
you want some coffee? This is the house of Gaudi that is called Casa Batlló. This is a dragon with the scales.
Oh, well.
This is a cross, but not just a cross. It starts here and goes like this, like a sword. A sword that kills a dragon. Here you can see kind of big mouth, you see nose and cheeks. And if you look into details, you can see joints. These are kind of bones. Kind of bones, as if these were the bones. And here you can see in the balcony, you can see eyes, nose, and the bottom of the jaw. These are the skulls. Gaudi said at the moment that St. George killed the dragon, he opened its mouth and split out bones and skulls. And when you go to this building, I'm sure you will see it, you have to see it, it tells you the story. Now, it's too much I spoke for people who just came.
It's okay. Where is this building now?
In Paseo de Gracia. This is what I told you to continue the tour, but I don't know if you will have. It's just an amazing house. Anyway, look at your back. You see a very handsome king. This is King Yaakov Harishon. He has a Hebrew name. He is James I of Aragon, but he has a Hebrew name. Yaakov Harishon.
I want to be able to put it. How can you put like a name on a picture?
You put in the notes on the picture.
How?
No, just take the picture. We'll fix it up.
King who? King Yaakov Harishon or James I of Aragon. He has a Hebrew name because he plays a very important role in Hebrew, in Jewish history of the city.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
I want to do it right. Once I do it right the first time, I'll get it, right? I don't want to
Yes.
forget it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yaakov Harishon. I will speak later about him, so you will you will not.
Yes, we were in Park
forget.
Grill yesterday. We went to Park Grill yesterday.
Ah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is St. George.
Oh, King? Okay.
Now I want to show you.
Chico, King.
James, I don't know. Yaakov, what is his name?
Now I want to show you this. What is this sculpture about? A man on a horse who fight against. What is there to the right? The dragon, right? This is Saint George and the dragon because Saint George, San George is here, right underneath. You see up there? You see? Yeah.
You need the horn?
Yeah. You see the horse, but below, you get to the right, some animals that open the mouth. This is a dragon because he is the saint of Catalonia, and this is the government of Catalonia. And we go that way. This way. Look at this flag. The white star on top of blue in America means the state. This means the state for Catalonia. Some people want to. And Rada Salia, entrance and exit. The streets of the old city are designed in a way that you have wide enough for both to carriage and person. But not for two horses that go in different directions. It is one-way street for horses.
I figured out how to do it because now I know how to do it.
But you hit the right button. Okay, I had it in my old phone, but I never done it.
Do it like this. That's too much?
No, but that's actually good.
So if you take so many tours, you want to know what you're looking at.
Can you see something of the leaf? O algo, Casa Milá, Casa La Petrolera.
The very first one.
Ooh, right.
I know.
Oh wow, look here.
Anyway, here we stand in the.
He's here. He went to look at the lab.
This point is the highest place in the Roman city. The Roman city was much below. This was the center. Let's go inside. Right here and look. So this was a temple. The temple was built by Augustus. He was a very, he was an emperor in the first century. It means this has about 2,000 years. And it was a temple in the center of the Roman city. And it was maintained in that way because this was a private house. So it is not in the
Yeah, that's what I love.
it is a man who sits in his salon and the cats are playing in the salon. It wasn't it was bought by the excursionists, the hikers of Barcelona, and they said it shouldn't be private, it should be public, and they made this beautiful picture. And in Yom Kippur, something that we try to connect it with Jews, there is a small congregation here that is named Beit David. They hire this place, and Jews pray up on top of the Roman temple. And whenever I see it, I say how symbolic it is that we are still alive. We pray on top of their temple, on the people who destroyed our temple. So it's kind of, let's say, symbolic thinking.
So now let me ask you something. These pillars,
What you can see over there, the
they
drawing.
just built something else on top of it. But this was the old
And this
thing that
was
was this.
exactly.
Okay.
This was stayed because it was in use. If you want to see it here in this map, you can see it. This one.
This wall is all that's left from the
The only thing that was left, because people used to, it's here, people used this as a material now to build and. Okay?
So this is the pillars of the Roman temple.
One of the Romans.
know the. Is it cool?
I was thinking.
You know, I grew up as a child in Israel, and my father was very, very Zionist. And there was a song in this time about two soldiers from Israel, from the Jewish Brigade in World War II, that arrived to the Arch of Titus, and they sing to Titus, 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 if you have seen two soldiers from Israel are here. And when I saw this, I saw that I was here in Kippur, and I said it is the same idea. We are still alive. The Roman disappeared. So you can take it wherever you like, but this is what I felt about it.
Right. It's powerful though.
I don't think so.
These tourism areas owned by the government now, or it's privately owned?
This owned by the
area like that.
hiker. It's kind of organization, the hikers of Barcelona.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier.
People who bought it. Still today, right? This is the Cathedral of Barcelona, and what you can see here is the gargoyle. Gargoyle is very important element in Gothic art. This is beginning, this is 13th century. Gargoyle are very primitive animals. Later on they became monsters, and the constructors of the cathedral said that the monsters come from very deep in the earth, climb on the roof of the cathedral and take care of the believers. Here you can see it in this, I will speak about this cathedral in connection with Jewish history here. Let's continue. Look up and you can see the unicorn. The unicorn is the most monstrous here. And this here, because this door leads to the Palace of Aragon, and we take care of the entrance.
Sì, soprattutto.
We arrived to the Palace of the Crown of Aragon. Inside are very important archives. Some of them speak about Jewish history, some of them are also in Hebrew. So we go inside, I will tell you why is it in Aragon, why it's in Aragon. So we go to beginning of 13th century, the year 20, something like that. Aragon is west to Catalonia, and the king of Aragon dies without an heir. There is no one to control the country, and they have to do something about it. He has a brother. His brother is a priest. They call him the monk. They shouldn't have children, but the country needs a child. So he finds a noble French woman, they make a child. It's a girl named Petronilla, and when Petronilla is just 3 months old, they leave her here in the palace, and the duty of this girl is to, when she will grow up, when she will be 14, she will marry 14 the son of the Count of Catalonia. Catalonia is a county and Aragon is a crown, and they will get married and they will start a new dynasty. So this is what happened. She married him and the new dynasty became very important. It is called the Crown of Aragon, but it is ruled by the Catalan dynasty. And now we will go there to see the beautiful door. So first of all, this man, who is this one? Look at him and the dragon. I told you Barcelona is city with dragon. I call it the Catalan Saint George, because the dragon in one moment will disappear. What's important is the sword, is to fight against the bad guy. And he is very tough on one side, but he has inside, he has face, maybe he has feelings or whatever. Come closer to here, because I want to show you what happened with Aragon later on. When they got married, and then we have the king, James I of Aragon, that conquered Valencia, Balear Island, Corsica, Sardinia, Napoli, Sicily, and Athens. This is Aragon that controlled Mediterranean from 1373 to 17. When you say Ferdinand of Aragon, you know the name, the Catholic king, he came from here. And how did they conquer all this? This was a loan given by the Jewish community of Catalonia to the king Yaakov Harishon, James I of Aragon. And the question is, why Jews give a loan to the king? So first of all, this is what Jews...
A loan?
A loan. They
Like a
give
loan.
money.
Okay.
The vowels in English.
No. I
Terrible
wasn't
for
sure
me.
if you meant
Ah,
L-O-A-N or A-L-O-N-E, like they gave it to him all by themselves. Like, okay. Money or all by themselves.
There is a document here in this archive.
Much.
The king recognized his debt, family Adret. The Adret family, the richest family of Barcelona, gave money to the king, and he said, I have to give them back this money. Another amazing document that was found here in the archive was a small booklet that 2 generations of tax collectors describe how much money each family paid. It was found just in 1987, and this is how, when we go to the Jewish Quarter, I will tell you, here lives this person and here's the other one.
1987?
Before 1987, 36 years ago, or 37 years ago, before that, all the tourists immediately went to Girona. Nobody knew exactly where people lived here, and now we know. And we know the Jews paid much higher taxes than the other society, directly to the king, and the king needed them. Why they were the funders. The funders not just of this, the funders of all the big projects of Europe, because of the special status. Jews were considered slaves of the king or property of the king, because every Jewish kid, when he is 3 years old, go to the shul and study to read and write, and all the main population is literate. At the time that in the general society, just owner of lands, feudals, rich people, only one who have enough money to pay private teachers. They study, they don't have any reason for work. And then you have the people who serve the church. They go to study and they go to work for the church. In Catalonia, it's the third child of a family. But the general society don't study until when? Have you any idea since when schools exist for everyone? Anyone know since when? So, in 1840, when they drive coal mines in England, they invent the steam engine, the Industrial Revolution, and then the industry and the women start to work in the industry. So who will take care of the children? They invent the new babysitter that is named school. School was a babysitter for the kid just in 19th century. It means that 200 years ago, still many people didn't read, were illiterate.
So what was the century you were talking about when like Jewish boys learned how to read?
Jews always, if you teach a child to pray, he is literate, he can read.
But what century was that?
Always. I don't think there was time the Jews didn't read the Bible. I don't know, since 3,000 years ago, I cannot. In difference with Christian, that just in 19th century. It's unbelievable. Another great advantage that only Jews have is having a common language. Today, wherever you arrive, you expect some people to speak English, most of them, but not all of them, but speak English, but most of people, you can communicate. In Middle Age, when a Jew from, let's say, Spain arrived to, let's say, Morocco, one of them speaks Spanish, one of them speaks Arabic. How do they communicate? Hebrew. Hebrew was not just a language of praying. Hebrew was a language of communication. And like you did, you want to know who are the Jews here. This is what they did. They arrived to a place, they went to the shul, and they asked, what do you sell here? And most of Jews were merchants, because they have a language.
They didn't speak Hebrew, they spoke
They
Ladino.
could, no, Ladino is later. Ladino is 15th century.
But like when my ancestors, when they left Spain, they didn't speak Hebrew.
Of course, but I speak about merchants, about people who prayed in Hebrew.
There's Lashon Kodesh. There's Lashon
It's
Kodesh.
really not Hebrew.
It's not today's Hebrew. It's not Hebrew that they speak in Israel.
It's basically
It's-
right. It's basically Lashon
It's
Kodesh, which is
Lashon Kodesh. They were
divided.
using Lashon Kodesh, which is the prayer, the Bavli and the prayer. They were also using Arabic. Some books were written in Arabic. Some of the Jewish
Yes, but they knew.
But there was one common language.
Aramaic. I'm sorry, not Arabic.
Aramaic was the international language.
Correct. So Aramaic and Lashon Kodesh, they were told. Hebrew is derived from Lashon Kodesh to make it faster,
Yes, I
to
know.
speed
The
up.
book of Daniel was in Arabic.
Hebrew is only about 100 years old. The Hebrew
So
language.
if you mention Aramaic, I have to tell you a story about the Phoenician. You know that you want to see. Let's go to see the
Words. Even if I'm not, I don't speak Hebrew either. I mean, I speak Hebrew. Like my kids speak Hebrew, so I'm like,
That's when they But it's not in Europe. The idea of time.
see all of you here, and just a funny story about if you spoke about Aramaic. Let's speak all of you as much as. So I go back.
what about you?
No, I want to see you. I want to see your face. If you sleep, I have candy. We spoke about, you mentioned Aramaic. The Phoenicians spoke Aramaic. So the Phoenician arrived here Phoenician lived 900 at the time of Shlomo HaMelech. 900 years.
What are you saying?
The Phoenician who sold wood for the Bet HaMikdash, they spoke Arameo.
Phoenicians is the word?
The Phoenicians.
Phoenicians.
What is in Hebrew? What's the name? Phoenician. Okay.
No, we don't know the one who lived
I'm
in
not,
So.
I'm not familiar. No.
Anyway, they arrived here. They make here a city that they call in what is Tunisia Carthago, and then Cartagena here. And they thought this was a big island, and there were many rabbits. So rabbit in Hebrew is Shafan. Island is E, but in Arameo Shafan is Shfania, and they call it E Island of rabbits, Ishfania, like not Long Island, but Coney Island. So this was the name. This was the name Ishfania.
So that's why it's called Spania.
Spania.
Girish Spania.
Yes.
The name Spania.
Yes.
Spanish Spania.
It came from Arameo.
Okay.
This was in bracket, and we go back to this, the important Jews here. So, Jews, as we said, were merchants, were bankers, administrators, doctors, many doctors, and scientists.
And they came from.
They came from Israel mainly, and some of them came with a Muslim, and some of them came from Rome, on both sides of the Mediterranean, but mainly from the north. So
They were persecuted. They were persecuted, so they moved on.
when Bet HaMikdash fell, and Jerusalem
That's
was no more as
Livable for a Jew.
yeah, it was not a place to live, and then you have Mered Bar Kokhba, you have Bar Kokhba in, I think it is 180 something. So Jews start to go all around Mediterranean. They arrived here in many because they were good under the Muslim regime, and I don't know. Anyway, it was a place for many Jews.
And they talk about the Yentzian time where it was a Muslim
It was
like,
Muslim,
state, and they were.
Yes.
It was a very.
Your family, you know where from in Sefarad? You know everything.
But we ended up in Greece and Turkey, and then
Yeah,
it's because of the French.
My great-grandmother came from Turkey. Anyway, so we go to important people who lived here. I don't know if you heard about the quadratic equation. Sometimes, many years ago, we studied it in school.
Yes.
This was an equation that was made by a Jew who lived here in 12th century, Abraham Bar Chia. He knew mathematics before zero existed, and he wrote the quadratic equation. He wrote about astronomy, astrology. His books are still today in Rome, in London, in Paris, in important areas. Then we have very important people, Jews who lived in Palma de Mallorca, and I want to show you a very interesting tool that they did that is called Astrolab. It is this one. Look at this. This is the tool to, I will show it to you. The zodiac is here with Hebrew letters, the constellations written in Hebrew, 14th century. Look here. Hebrew letters and constellations. Satan, Aryeh, Betula, all the
This is in
constellations.
Palma de Mallorca.
This is from Palma de Mallorca.
Yeah, we're going to be going there.
Yeah, I know. So the Jews there were expert in navigation and in cartography. So here you can see the text is in Hebrew. Beautiful tool. A very famous person named Yaakov ben David Bongiorno that make a table to predict sun eclipse and moon eclipse, calculating with Hebrew letters because zero was not yet in use. And then a father and a son, their name is Abraham and Yehuda Kreskas, that made Mundi Atlas, the atlas of the world, without America, of course, in 1373 with drawing.
So it was still flat.
At that time they knew, no, they didn't know.
Still
Until
flat.
Columbus, it was flat. But they draw the way of silk, camels who bring silk to Europe, and things like that.
Talk about Columbus. Columbus
I
was
will
a Jew.
arrive to Columbus, but I still have a long story before. Now we arrive. So women, also Jewish Jewish women didn't read, but were experts in natural medicine, and they were midwives of the king. They came here to the palace.
Do you know any books that talk about Jewish women as natural medicine?
No, but if you go to the Museum of Girona, there is a beautiful drawing of how they do the human body and how they believe that every part of the body is controlled by some constellation. And this is how they explain disease and different diseases and things like that. This is the only thing, it is called, I think, the Book of Love or something like this.
It's on display.
If you have time to go to Girona or look for them. Anyway, I want to show you what happened. Relationship with the king were always very good. The problem started with the church. And then now we go to 1250 to Rome when the church decided Jews should wear a sign. This was a sign of being Jew.
That's from the museum.
Yes, it is in the Museum of Girona. You want to make a picture of it?
So Hitler
Hitler didn't invent
that's
anything new. And this was the other sign. In the Museum of Girona, you can see a picture from a place named Vic, 1 hour drive to the north, where they draw Jewish women dressed in that way, taking blood from babies, and near them you can see a kind of mountain of dead bodies of babies with the blood. This was the description of the Jews. And here in this cathedral, I didn't see it, I saw two pictures. There is a relief of 4 women dressed like this, frightened in a time of problem. With this, round thing that they have.
this happened before the church or after the church?
This is in 13th century.
So all the tourists started when the church.
Exactly. All the tours started. Well, the first tours started when I told you about this. When they go, Jerusalem was conquered by the Muslims. On the way of the Crusaders, they also hit Jewish communities. This was the first time. Now they start in 13th century with religious debates. In 1240, it happened in Paris. The claim in this debate is that the Bible was given to us by God, but the Talmud is a wrong interpretation of the Bible. And after this debate, they burnt books of Talmud. Again, Hitler burned book and forced Jews to wear a sign. He didn't invent none of these things. And we arrive now to Barcelona, to the year 1263. 1263, the city is dominated by the Dominican. The Dominican are fanatic to religion. And one of them is named Pau Cristiani in Catalan, Pablo the Christian. He is converso. He is a Jew who converted and became fanatic. You can see it now in America. Some of the most anti-Jews are Jews in some cases. So he, if you want to understand him in a way, the idea is that he is Christian, but he still have cousins and family in the Jewish community. And everybody can know that he is not really Christian because he has family there. So he goes to the head of the order go to the Jewish to the king in order to call Jews to send a representative to a religious debate. And a religious debate, there are 4 synagogues in the old city, and all the 4 rabbis say, we will call Ramban, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman from Girona. He was a Nasi, the president of the community. He was Kabbalist. He was Talmudist. He was a very important doctor, eminent person, Renaissance person that knew many things in many different fields. And if the king, his friend, called him to come to the debate, he cannot refuse. And now I have a long story. Anyone who wants it can be. I hope you will survive, but it's amazing story that happened here on the other side of this door. And this is Vikuach Haramban, this is Vikuach Barcelona, the debate of Barcelona, the disputation of Barcelona, the disputa in Spanish. If his friend, the king, asks him to come to a debate, he has to come, And the debate happened during 4 days in July, the first day 20th of July, and the first question is, did the Messiah arrive? Nice question. You cannot answer it in a good way and stay safe. The second day happened in the cathedral. They bring him to their cathedral, where there is a big cloister, 20 times bigger than that. He stands there with all the important people of the city, and the question is Jesus the Messiah? What can you answer this? Is Jesus the Messiah? And then this was 27th of July, and we go to 30th of July, and the question is, this is the most important question, what is a Messiah? So he compared what the Bible, the Old Testament say about, the Tanakh says about the Mashiach, with the life of Jesus. I don't know in which book it explained about the Messiah.
The books that has the Bavli that has the parts of Jesus was taken out because the Jews were persecuted. So they are a separate, but the Jews over the years they had to remove it because they were telling the story of.
So it's not the Old Testament, but it is.
It wasn't the Bavli written the whole story, but it was taken out because we can verify that. But I think that's what happened with the story, the exact story. But it's printed, it's written separate.
I have to look for it. Never saw it.
Over the years.
Anyway, he compares the life of Jesus with what the Bible says. The Bible says that the Messiah will come in Acharit Hayamim, the last of the days, which means there is harmony on earth, no wars, no one kill no one else. The gar ze'ev in keves, it means even the wolf live with the lamb without killing it. He said, look outside to this square. People are hanged in cages. They beat them. They torture them. There is war all around. It is not the time for the Messiah to come. And the Messiah should control the whole world, not just the Jewish state. Jesus never governed any state. How will he be able to govern the whole world? And then they use something that till today they use a claim that says the prophets of Israel predicted the coming of Jesus. How they do it? They take a sentence from the book of Yeshayahu that said there will be sign of God, and the young pregnant woman will have a child. She will call him Emmanuel. Emmanuel will be Eved Hashem, slave of God, and will bring Or LaGoyim, light to the Gentiles. When this sentence was translated from Hebrew to Greek, the first translation, Tirgum HaShiv'im, the term young woman, Alma, was translated to a virgin. The son of the virgin will bring light to the goyim. Isn't this Jesus? This is a beautiful manipulation, but there is one more manipulation. Genius. In Sagrada Familia, on the floor, there is a drawing of the city of Jerusalem. The city of Jerusalem inside the church. Sagrada Familia, the church that was made by Gaudi, a city with palm tree. Near that you see Jesus on a donkey, goes to the city, and the sentence is, Hoshana, Jesus, son of David. And when I saw it, I said, who is David? Isn't there? I know that the Christians say that Jesus is son of God. And his stepfather is Joseph, so who is David? So I start to remember what I studied at school. 586 BCE, the Nebuchadnezzar conquer, make fall the first temple, and Jews are taken to Babylonia. And then they come back and build. And this is why Talmud Bible. And then some of them come back, not all of them, and rebuild the second temple. The Christian added some idea, some species to the story. They said one of the family in its way from Babylonia to Jerusalem built a city that they call Nazareth, Nazareth. Now, I don't know if you studied Hebrew. You studied Hebrew? You know that in Hebrew we have, every word we have 3 letters that are called the root, Shoresh Hamilah. So Nazareth you write N-Z-R-T, Nun Tzadik Resh Taf. You have to look for these three letters. Taf in the end. T is feminine final. So you take it out. Feminine because city is a feminine. So you stay with NZR, Nun Tzadik Resh. It means also Netzer. Netzer is dynasty of or descendants of. Of whom? Of David. Which David? King David. Because in Hebrew we say Mashiach ben David, Messiah, son of David, they say Jesus, son of David. His mother Mary came from the place where all the people were descendants of King David, Nazareth. In Hebrew, whenever we speak about Christianity, we say Natzrut, Notzri, Notzriya, Natzer, Natzer, as if we believe them that Jesus is come from the dynasty of King David. It is so crazy. It is a manipulation that you don't believe how we don't pay attention to that. We have to change the world. Anyway. And this is Ben David. And then we still have one more day to the debate. The last question is 31st of July. And the question is the Messiah a man or a God? And he said, I don't want to answer that question because we haven't yet arrived to the conclusion that Jesus is a Messiah. But the king said, you came here to answer and you have to answer. So he said whatever he said, and after that the king said, I have never heard such a brilliant defense on such an unjust cause. It means, my dear friend, you speak very nice, but I don't believe you. So he went back to Girona and he described the debate, and you can find it on the internet. It's hard to understand. And then he writes about what happened, and it is a manuscript that arrived to the Dominican. The Dominican read it and said, this is blasphemy against Christianity, and he deserves a capital sentence. He should die for what he said. So he go to his friend the king and he said, His Majesty, my dear friend, what do they want for my life? And the king said, oh, my dear friend, I cannot help you. I am just the king. Meaning, I know that the church is on top of you. So you have to run away. He left to Jerusalem. And exactly 4 years after this debate, he built there the Bet Knesset HaRamban, the synagogue that still exists on his name.
Nice.
And he went to Akko. He was moving between Akko and Jerusalem.
What year was that when he ran away?
1263 the debate, and 1267. Maybe he left, I don't know, 1264. As the first synagogue after 1200 years, after the expulsion of the Jews. In 1270, he was in Akko. He wrote a letter to his children. Me, who was a president in Catalonia, is now living in a small hostel. And he died there, and they found his stamp just in 1972. His stamp says Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman HaGirundi, from Girunda, the name, the ancient name of Germany. You have here in 15 minutes the history of the Jews of Europe. It doesn't matter how eminent, how knowledgeable, how genius you were. If the church wanted to kick you out, this is what they did. So we will start to walk a little bit to see the places. I can show you it, and I don't think we have time. I have so much stories. He told you Adi told you.
I saw it on his
website. For this story, it's so here you can see a letter of the Catholic monarchs, Isabel of Castile, Ferdinand of Aragon, Christopher Columbus, to find India, and the date is Granada, in Granada, April 1492. Very important document, and let's continue over there.
At one point, the Christians got rid of
Y'all live in New York?
Yeah. Long Island, Huntington.
I
You?
do. I live in California. I used
Whereabouts?
used to live in New York. San Francisco.
Okay. Is it as bad as people say?
What do you mean?
As far as homelessness and things of that nature? Yeah.
It's a shame. It's not, yeah, we were there like years ago.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking now.
I used to have a niece who lived there. She moved out
Yeah.
around at 7.
Yeah.
Where do you prefer to sit? Over there or here?
It doesn't matter.
So you can choose. I guess here. So now we go to 1348.
Come sit down.
That's okay. Thank you.
This is the beginning of the Black Plague. A strange disease arrived to Europe. Nobody understands. Virus don't exist at that time. Microbes don't exist. Nobody understands what's going on. The only thing they understand, the Jews don't die that much. So they blame the Jews of bringing the Black Plague. Why Jews don't die that much? Because laws of Judaism are laws of hygiene. You have netilat yadayim, and you have kosher food. You put salt in the meat and you kill.
Was it also because of garlic?
The garlic? Oh, it could be. but also Christians eat garlic.
Well, the inquisitors, the spies, they after 1492, they used to go to the market, spy on people. If they were buying garlic, they would suspect that they were practicing
Jews.
Judaism, and they would
Could be.
kill them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
think
even they
they-
would go outside of the homes in the evening,
Smell it?
Friday, to smell if there was garlic, and that would be cause for execution.
Oh, I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that.
I know about that.
And garlic is
I know
antiviral,
about
so.
the pork. Anyway, not eating pork is for hygiene because pork has diseases.
Chicken soup is also part of our secret.
What?
Chicken soup.
Oh,
Chicken soup, maybe. It is. And burying the dead immediately and deep and out of the city. All these laws of hygiene. Mikveh. So a priest in 1391, a priest here in Seville preached to erase Jews out of the country, and they start pogroms all around Spain. In June in the south, in July in the center, and in August in the north. August 5th is the day of San Domenic, the saint of the Dominican. A group of farmers and peasants gather here and protest against the king and his Jews. They didn't have enough money to pay back their debt. Half of the people died. What else? Prices, there was, prices of land came up, and they were angry with the Jews. The king was not here that day, so they took torches, went to the Jewish community and burnt it up. The last day of the Jewish community of Barcelona is August 5th, 1391. And now I want to show you Jewish communities just in Catalonia, and I'm sure you will be amazed to see.
What do you mean it was the last day of the Jewish community?
It was destroyed. They were not allowed to again to live in the community.
So did many move to
1391. Yeah, they couldn't. It was forbidden.
did they convert?
They converted, they ran away.
Is that the Girish Spania? That was they called the Girish Spania. The
The
Jews.
Girosh is later. The Girosh officially
So
1492.
so
but
what
it
was
started-
this then?
I will. Wait.
Okay.
I have the whole story. This is just to see Jewish communities all around Catalonia. I don't speak about Spain. Just in Catalonia, every Magen David here is a Jewish community. I will move if you don't
This
care.
was in 1390, correct?
1391.
Oh, wow.
And just to understand numbers,
What was the amount of people? Oh,
this is what I'm saying now.
okay.
In Barcelona, in August 1391, there were 40,000 people, 4,000 Jews, 10% of the population. They continue from Barcelona to Girona. Out of 10,000 people, 1,000 Jews. There is a small village here named Besalú where they found a beautiful mikveh. There were 1,500 people, but 180 Jews, even more than 10%, but in general 10%. So the Jews tried to rebuild the community of Barcelona. A very important person named Rabbi Crescas, who was the counselor of the king to Jewish matter, went to the Pope in Avignon. Avignon was the anti-Pope. There was a Pope in Rome and another Pope in Avignon, trying to convince him to help, ask him to help the Jewish community. It didn't work. And then in 1414, here in Tortosa, which is south of Catalonia, there was another debate of the whole year. What happened in Girona, it was 10 of August, and they heard what happened here, so they paid money to the king and he hid them in a tower for 17 weeks in terrible condition. But after that, they rebuilt the community half size that it was before. So the communities, some of them disappeared, some
A
of them
quick question. So
continued.
the king sounds like, from all the stories, the king was a Ohev Israel.
Exactly, the king needed the Jews. First of all, they knew
They
Jews
paid the taxes.
personally.
Also, they got
paid
money.
much-
They had
Exactly.
benefit also.
Much more money, administrators, doctors. If you know your doctor, you don't hate him just because.
So the king went against. Technically, the king went against the church.
Well,
By hiding them
he
and-
will not dare to. But generally, the problems were always with the church, not with the kings.
Yeah.
So the Jewish community disappeared, and now we jump to other side of the history. Well, some years later,
They killed a lot of Jews, or they just ran away.
we don't know numbers. If they were German, they would know everything, but they were Spanish.
So our history, that we
Because
don't know
nobody
if
knows,
Jews were
you know,
killed
because
or
nobody-
just ran away.
No, we know that here they killed 300 people, and also more or less, a little less in Girona. But in general, what people say, what researchers say, third ran away, third became Christian, third lived.
Hiding. It was already the
Hiding.
concept of hiding, pretending
Yeah,
Christian,
continued for many
start
years.
from 1391, not in the 1400s.
No.
They had a special name for them. They were called
Anusim.
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 So it already started in 1391.
I will tell you about the
Okay.
Anusim later on. So we go to 1469, the marriage between Isabel of Castile and Ferdinand of Aragon, that became the Catholic king because Isabel was very fanatic to the religion. And she wanted everyone to become Catholic, non-Protestant, no Jew, no nothing. The marriage is 1469, and in 1487 she takes Torquemada and making the head of the Inquisition. He was her confessional priest, and he became very, very fanatic. He was very fanatic. He became the cruel person of the Inquisition. 5 years later, we arrived to 1492. In 2nd of January, they conquered Granada. This answers the question about the Muslim. The last time Muslim had here a state was 2nd of January 1492. And then we go 3 months later to 31st of March, when in this date in Alhambra, in the palace in Granada, they make the decree of Alhambra that said the Jew and Muslim has 4 months either to convert or to run away. Why 4 months?
What year was that?
1492,
1492,
31st of March. Why 4 months? Because 4 months later it is 31st of July, and in 1492 this was the evening of Tisha B'Av. The idea is to look for the most painful date in the Jewish calendar and to hit the Jews in that day. To show them symbolically, we destroy here the third temple of Sepharad. And Tisha B'Av is 1st of August, and Columbus goes to his journey in 2nd of August. And
In
this
14
raised the whole 1492, and this raised the whole theory about Columbus having connection.
So
with
the Spaniards sent out Columbus to look for, what was the main purpose of his?
To look for
if the
India.
world is round or not, correct? That was his...
No, to find
look-
India. They were sure it was wrong. To
India.
find a different way to India. They thought that the world was smaller. So now we go to this theory that what you asked me about, the connection between the way of Columbus to find India and the expulsion of the Jews. So first of all, the date. Why he left that date, the last date that the Jews would be here, the Jews. And then the second is that the best expert in cartography and navigation were the Jews of Palma de Mallorca, and he came from Palma de Mallorca, from Balear Island, and the family was probably first converted Jews who left from here to Genoa. And this is why the Italians say he was Italian, but in fact it was a Catalan Jewish family. And the people who raised
When
the
you say
money,
Catalan Jews, meaning
Jews from
Anisim
Catalonia.
and
His
no.
name shows, his name was
Catalonian
Colon.
Jews, yes.
You never end in Spanish or in M. They don't know how to pronounce it. If you know Argentina, if you know Spanish people, they say Jerusalem with N. They're not able to pronounce Jerusalem.
The M sound.
So, why Jews? This series said the Jews raised money to go to India because of the 10 lost tribes. We all know something vague or more in detail that in 722 BCE the Assyrian conquered Samaria and they took the Jews to exile, and we were 12 tribes and now we are just descendants of 2 tribes. What happened to the 10 lost tribes? They disappeared in the east. And even today in Israel, whenever they find Jewish community in India, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Japan, or China, they say maybe they came from the 10 lost tribes.
Yeah.
And we call the Jews from India Bnei Menashe.
Yes.
And we call the Jews from Ethiopia Bnei Dan. So we know that it existed. If you go to the British Museum in London, you will see a relief made by the Assyrian how they conquered Samaria. It happened. Now, is this theory true or not? Nobody can.
Some people say I read so much about the 10 tribes. Some say they're in Africa. Some say they're in India. Some say
Nobody knows.
nobody knows.
They mix
This-
with the population probably. But from time to time, you can find somebody say, in my house, they used to light a candle.
the Falash, some people say
they call them Bnei Dan. So this is the story. Take it or leave it. I asked the best expert. What do you think about it? He said it could be true because we know nothing about Columbus' childhood. This was his answer. So this is what we know. Let's continue.
What's that sign over there? Right over there.
They speak about the program that happened in August 5th, 1391.
So, who Zichron Shemais, this is what you said, 300 Jews got killed. That's what you said. Oh, 1391. It says there, that was a mistake. Okay. What was that?
Somebody
Yeah.
today asked me, what happened in 1931? Because
So, question to you is, you mentioned that there was the plague, there was the whatever they had, black fever, whatever. That's why the Jews got killed at that time. There was a reason. They were excluded. Look, always look for
Roman times, Jews, like even Ashkenazi Jews, were considered the garlic eaters.
So basically,
It dates
she's
back
saying
to
that
that.
1391, they had the black fever or some type
And
of
said
plague.
as like a derogatory term.
What do you do?
I'm in education.
Yeah.
As a high school teacher, and then I taught in university as an education. But I also study herbalism and Jewish herbalism.
Oh, fascinating.
How about yourself?
I taught at the State University of New York in labor studies.
Labor studies.
Yes, and I'm a certified fraud examiner.
Oh, okay. The State University of New York in Long Island.
No, New York City.
In New York City.
Yes.
Where
I
is
went
it?
to Lower Manhattan, but then I was the Center for Labor Studies. Yes.
I lived in Brooklyn for 7 years.
Whereabouts in Brooklyn?
First Clinton Hill and then Bed-Stuy.
Okay.
My
Good.
dad's family also is from the East Coast. Great-great-grandfather was the first cantor of Newark.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
But there was a family feud, and so we ended up in California.
Far away.
Far, far away.
What's up there, that building?
this is the palace. This is all of this was the palace.
So it's refurbished? It's like refurbished?
No, well, it was renewed in 16th century.
Is there anything kosher here that you can grab a bite here in this neighborhood? No, I know you have food. I'm just wondering.
No.
A Jew goes around a few hours, is looking for food, you know. Is there a place here to grab like a bite? There is? What? Say what time they close? It's Friday. But you just say, what?
What hours they close today?
No, I don't.
Yeah, they close early today. I
Yeah, I
think
see.
they said
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, I
3
think.
o'clock.
It's all right, no problem. We just need coffee, really.
3 or 5, I think, I'm not sure.
You have coffee. I didn't take it, I just took it.
Come to Starbucks around. Where are you staying?
NH? NH Santa Barcelona. It's okay. It took us almost a half hour to get here.
Yeah. Sure you did.
about the copy. I have
Oh,
another
here
story.
it's the same sign, except
Yes,
it's
yes.
wrong date.
Here it's 97.
We have to
Here I
change it.
want to show you this stone. Oh, in gray, but you can see that something is written in Hebrew, right?
Yes, there is.
You can see Yud, Mem, or Hey, or Dalet.
Okay, you get it first. You get it first. You got
I'm
it?
fine.
Now I want to show you another one. This is upside down, but you can see Shin, Hey, Mem, and Lamed. Shechamai. Now if you stand here, let's stand in the shade. Yeah. You see three lines below the cable? Left to the another one up there, three lines below the cable, you see?
You know, and I'm so proud that I learned how to do this because now I
Now
will
you will
know.
have a good shot. If you look at the lamp, here you have the round you see the lamp, look to the left, three lines below the cable? Left. You see
Good. It says good.
the nun yud vav is shin. It is taf shin,
You think it's a year?
Keshehavra. It is not clear if it is a year or not. I want you to stand.
Three lines down.
If you stand here, I want to show you one up there. You see the small, the tiny window to the right?
Yes.
You see two tiny windows.
Yes.
The one to the right, if you go up to the roof, in the middle of the way you can see something written.
See, it's
You don't see?
I see
You
it.
see? Great. Upside down. Yeah, upside down. Esti, another
I got
one.
a different word out of it. Well,
Taf.
Vav, I think, good.
The nun yud vav sometimes.
Yeah, but it's here. It's more letters
Yeah.
than you think.
Yeah,
This might be a
right.
ches
Ve-
or Vav.
It could be
Va,
vav
Ye
taf.
ten. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
new
Yo,
avra.
Av.
It depends if this is in sometimes it depends on the light. This looks shin. The only one I can read is up there. I want
find
you to
it.
explain you.
What does it say?
Look at this tiny window. You see two tiny windows, the one to the right.
Keep looking
And
up.
go up to the roof. In the middle of the way, you will find something yeah, upside down. You heard how to. I will show you what it is.
Avram is here. Look above this window. You see the small window? And then walk all the way up, follow the window all the way up, and upside down.
If you want, I can send it to you because I have a picture of it. If you all saw it, look here.
Work.
Hold on, I'm gonna get it. Oh, I'm on the wrong picture.
So I will send it to you by WhatsApp if you want.
Thank you.
It's very hard to have it in good. I have a picture that somebody did with good camera. So come here to look at it.
I got it.
Kina.
Beit, this is a family name, probably Avarbani. Kina Bni El Yosef Bni. You have it in good.
Decent.
Yeah?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
you
get-
can read. Beit Avarbani, Kina Bni El Yosef Bni. It's completely.
Above this window, this small window, all the
grandchildren.
way up above. I'm gonna try it again.
My grandchildren are not in the tour. So
Uh-huh.
this is amazing. This is the only one that is really understandable. and I want to tell you what it is.
What it said? What does it say?
A morning song, Kinot Tisha B'Av, to my son Joseph.
Again?
Morning with all you. A morning song.
At morning.
Morning song to my son Joseph. I want to show you where we are. So we stand. Avrum.
He's still busy with his picture, right?
I want him to listen because every
He's gonna
detail
ask you.
here
He's
is
gonna
so
ask you.
important.
He's so interesting.
Every detail. We stand here. This is the palace. Here you have the Jewish Quarter, and here there is a mountain named Montjuic. What does it mean, Montjuic?
Not Jewish.
Mountain of the Jews, which is synonym to Jewish cemetery. Montjuic was a Jewish cemetery that in 16th century, when they decided to renew the palace, he said it looks new, no? The king said to the constructor, you can use the stones of Montjuic. All this wall is made out of headstones from the Jewish cemeteries that face inside, beside some places. And this is why it is morning song to my son Joseph.
So they're all stones
They're
of
all
headstones?
headstones. They're
So
all
the,
inside.
so the cemetery has no headstones?
Exactly. In 1940, they found the place of the cemetery. It was a cemetery without headstone, and they covered it back. And I didn't find one person who know where it is exactly. But the name is still there.
It's very interesting that you're saying this because when we were planning our trip, I was looking to see if there was any, somebody that that's buried here that we would want to go visit, because I know my husband has recently gone to like different towns in Europe, like to different cemeteries, and most of the trips are centered around the cemetery, and I couldn't find anything.
So
In
today,
Europe, they have one of the
today we
cemeteries.
have 4 cemeteries, and I think we live here, the Jewish community, just 100 years, 105 years.
But it's new cemeteries.
But before it's new. Before the Jews lived here, at least 1,300 years. So I'm sure there was much more than one cemetery.
So this building is also
Talking
made out
about
of headstones.
talking about headstones.
I have to add that to my picture.
One of
I'm happy to
at
remember.
the time, they have the tombstones. You still read names in a building, and
I know. Well, and in Prague, you see all these headstones that they put one on top of another. Let's go inside.
Nowadays has nothing to do with the Inquisition. It's a museum. But it's but originally it was
Look here, you can see the Roman city. And you can understand that the Roman city is much, much below where we walk.
What do you mean that
The Roman city, we walk 4 meters on top of it.
This is
And now
this
we
is
found a place to sit over there.
this is still used, or
No,
this is just a
it's-
replica?
it's not a replica, it's the thing. So let's say
It's
what are
not
the
being used now.
Of course not. Can you go inside?
Yes, it's part of the museum. You have to pay for the
So it's a
the
Roman
museum.
city?
Yeah. Yes, here you see more. There are pots for wine and for oil, and they brought fish.
This is part of the Roman city. So the
you're invited to sit again. My stories are so long, so you have to sit. And we spoke about 14
Sit in the middle. You should sit
I'm very
in the
good at
middle.
this. I love sitting on the floor.
This is almost like
No,
the
we're used
floor.
to sitting on the
He
floor.
also
It's
likes
fine.
to sit there.
Yeah, I love to sit on
So
it.
I mentioned 40.
I just said Tisha B'Av.
Right.
I mentioned 1487, the year when the new Inquisition was built by Torquemada. Torquemada cannot control all Spain by himself, so they find a new inquisitor to every big city, and the inquisitor come here, and this part becomes the court of the Inquisition. And below this floor there is, it's a Roman place, the prison, the cells where they torture the people until they confess and they kill them. And in that part they had the archive of the court, which were burned by the anarchists in 1880 something, in 1820. So we don't have remaining from what happened in Barcelona. We do have from Palma de Mallorca. But now I have first a question, if you know how many years the Inquisition continued, until when? You don't know. It's a very difficult question. So I forgive you for not knowing. The last year when a man in Barcelona was accused of being Jew was 1821. They put him on a stake and fired him, killed him with a fire. We know nothing, just that his name was Ripoll and nothing more. Who he was, why they killed him, nothing.
Oh, God.
Nothing. The archives were
They
burned.
had a public place where they used to burn
They
the
had
Jews.
some places, some public
We
places.
know where the
I don't
places
know.
are?
I know far, not in this place.
But did they, the Inquisition, did they also kill Muslims who were still here? Or the Muslims all left?
The Muslim has a role of servants, so normally the owner didn't want them to kill those servants, so they hid them, they gave them mainly Jews, sometimes witches. It was personal problems between neighbors or things like this.
I just have one question. When we looked at that other building and we saw the lower levels, so these buildings are also old. So
But not that old.
they built on top of a city.
Always, you know that the Romans said Rome
have
is
that in
like
Israel too,
the
I
Romans
think,
said
that
Rome is
caves.
like Esti, Rome is like lasagna. you know what is Megiddo?
Layer
Have
on
you been in Megiddo in Israel? Armageddon. Why you say Armageddon then? Har Megiddo. I was born not far from them. It is a city that had 19 levels.
That's what I said.
Somebody builds a city, others come and burn it. So they rebuild on top, on top, on top. It
No,
always
because
happens.
these buildings obviously
is
don't look
20th
new.
century.
You know what I'm
This
saying?
is-
That
this
also
is,
now. They look.
This is the
Like a part of history, but
13th
not-
century. 13th century. Some of them are 17th.
Off
So-
topic, what kind of tree is that?
I don't know which one of them. I know the one here is 20th century.
No, what kind of fruit is that?
This is mandarin. But let's go to our stories because I have long stories without mandarin.
I was just curious because it was green.
Okay, so a new inquisitor come here, 1487. There is no Jewish community, and 100 people run to the beach to take boats and to escape from the city. Probably they were Anusim, first converted Jews, who were afraid of the Inquisition. And the Inquisition stayed here until mid-19th century.
18th.
I asked you how many years?
He told
So I
us
said in
1821.
1821 they killed a person blamed of being Jew, and in 1834 is the official abolishment of the Inquisition. It means that 190 years ago it was forbidden to be a Jew in all Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, in South America, Central America, and the part of America that still was governed by Spain. It is unbelievable that you couldn't be Jew in half of the well. And in my opinion, this explains the situation of today. If you were not allowed not to live miserably, you were not allowed to be Jew until 190 years ago. It's crazy. So what stayed? It was in general from 1487 to 1834. I calculated almost 350 years. What stayed here from this period? 350 years? Nothing besides the pork culture. The idea that you see so much pork everywhere because it was a way to show to everybody you are not new Christian. You don't have Jewish blood, and therefore you eat pork. So here, nobody knows who were these people, but I will tell you about Palma de Mallorca, because in Palma de Mallorca there are remaining for these Jews. 200 years after the expulsion I speak about 1492, in 1690 the church made a list of family names that you shouldn't get married with them because they had Jewish blood. It means that, I worked as secretary in the Jewish community of Barcelona. From time to time somebody arrived and said, I am in the list, my family name appears in the list of the church. I want to come back to Judaism. I know that I came from Jewish family.
That's interesting.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Nobody knew who were the Jews. And in Palma de Mallorca they have a name, this community, they are named Chuetas. I really hope that you will take their tour because
we
I'm a very good American guide who lives there and who explained about the Chueta. I saw a documentary. And just to understand the name, in Catalan, Jew is Jueu, J-U-E-U. In the dialect of Palma de Mallorca, the J becomes X, Che, Chueta. Chueta means Chue, Jew, Chueta, small Jew. Like you have in Germany, Jud and Jude. The idea is small Jew. And these people still today live, they make activities. They say we are very Christian, but we know that we came from Jewish family because nobody wanted
But you wouldn't
to
know on the
marry
father
us.
or the mother
More
side.
than 500 years.
You wouldn't know the father's or the mother's side.
No.
No. So you wouldn't know who's.
Well,
yeah.
you are right. It is a family name, then people change their family name, right?
There's stories that people who are Spaniards, the grandmother was lighting candles, but they didn't know why.
No, why, right.
Just
Stories like
stories
that,
like
yeah.
that.
I just watched now.
All
they had
around the world
something,
you can find
pictures
stories
about
like that, but
they had
especially here.
something.
And another thing that we know from the archive of Palma de Mallorca is a register of a trial to two families who tried to kidnap both. Not in 1492, in 1680 something, 200 years later, to escape to Livorno, to Italy, in order to become Jews again. And they were caught by, it was a stormy night, they were caught, they were brought to the Inquisition, judged, and they killed 20 people from two families.
Jews weren't allowed to leave
No.
the country.
No. If you leave the country, it means that you... I know a story that I heard by chance in the radio. I opened the radio one day, and they spoke about a Jew who arrived, a Jew from Seville who arrived in Amsterdam in 17th century. And I thought, how can a Jew from Seville arrive there? Jews didn't exist here in 15th century. And this was the first man who spoke about stock exchange. How you take money from people and you put it in a project, and how stock exchange works. A Jew from Seville,
Where was Seville?
Seville is Sevilla, is the south.
South of Barcelona.
South of Spain. South of Spain. Now we go to what else I wanted to tell you. A story of a woman who cooked chulent Friday evening, and she put in the chulent a big leg of pork. And because it was a time of Inquisition, and she served it to the family, and when the servants saw that she didn't eat it, they ran to the court. They said she is probably Jew because she doesn't eat the pork, and they killed her for not eating pork.
Ay,
Now I go back to the story of the hygiene. The hygiene, I told you about the hygiene of the Jews, you know, all our laws are laws of hygiene. What was the Christian hygiene in Middle Age? None, right? Beside one thing. Let's say we have here a square, very dirty square, not like now, and they bring a bath, one bath for family. Who is the first one who goes into the water? Papa.
Papa.
The one who brings the food and the money to the
I
family.
was just like the kids.
Who is the second? Yeah, you think your baby will be the first, right? We live
Yeah.
in different time. Babies died so much. Who is the second? After Papa, the elder son, because they work with Papa in the fields or in the business and they bring money. What we do, women, mothers, we bring more mothers to feed. We are not important. We are not Eshet Chaim Nitza in Christianity. We are number 3 women, girls number 4, babies number 5. You know the expression, don't throw out the baby with the bath water.
right.
The bath water is black, or the family was there. Don't forget, maybe your baby is still there. This ceremony happened once how often?
Yeah.
Once a year, in June. In June, sometimes also in October. Even kings, we know about King Louis XIV of France, that didn't like to be washed. Queen Elizabeth I from 17th century was washed once a year.
Ay,
People were dirty and still had to explain how come the Jews don't die so much. What did they say? Jews poison the wells. And Christians drink the water and die because of the water that was poisoned by the Jews. And this story went all around Europe. I'm sure some places.
Well, the holidays we're told that we don't anoint ourselves.
We don't.
Anoint ourselves. And the anointing was because we would bathe with oil and then scrape off the oil, and that's how we would be clean. So
okay.
for the holidays, we're told not to anoint ourselves, and that's what it's referring to.
We were told not to anoint ourselves.
For the holiday, right. You don't, on Shabbos, you don't anoint yourself
before Shabbos.
on Tisha B'Av, you don't anoint yourself.
Wasn't the blood libel also here? The blood libel, the Jews put in blood in the matzahs. Was it here?
Yes, I
It's
told
also
you
nice.
about this picture that I saw from Spain. The woman who takes the blood.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was when she
good.
was discussing the flags.
Let's continue.
Two empty bottles.
So I tell you my story. No, I'm grateful that you listened, and I'm grateful even more that you believe me. I want to show you this evidence that it was here. This is one of the best preserved symbols of Inquisition all around Spain. And the idea is up there, the cross. You can see from one side a spear or a sword to fight against the heretics, and from the other side you can see a branch of olive tree to arrive to reconciliation. So this is the story of the Inquisition. We try to arrive to reconciliation with the Jews also. So you can see here remaining of a window. You can see here remaining of a window and the third one. When you see windows at the street level, you understand there was something there. This was a prison. In the middle of this square you can see a cross. Here you can see a ribbon, right? What is the ribbon? Today the ribbon is fight against cancer, or it is fight to liberate the hostages. It started Avrom later.
Avrami, you're missing important things. Come
Very
back.
interesting.
Avrami, come back. Yes, here.
Avrom, I wanted to
Must be that
visit
ribbon
this is
up there.
amazing.
Very interesting.
So the ribbon started at the talit,
Up there,
and
next
the
to the
talit
cross, around the pillar,
came
the
like
ribbon.
this. You know that the priest goes with a ribbon. So
Right.
this is symbolize the church. Let's see the ribbon. What you see? What
The
is-
ribbon upside down, okay. Between the next to the cross.
No,
okay.
all of them inside
Oh,
the
yeah,
square.
yeah, yeah.
You see the spear? You see left the spear, hammer and plier? Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Hammer and plier. What do you see right to the cross? You see, tell me what you see there. Whip, different kind of whip. Between the two whips, column is rope. And what do you see to the right? Fire, torch. Now this is the story for people who don't read. Illiterate people used to look at pictures like
Because they didn't use alphabet, that's why.
they didn't.
Not everybody knew how to read.
Because they didn't read, they told them stories in pictures. The
Hieroglyphics.
only written thing here is the name of the square. La de los Seu in Catalan means the square. Of the Sede, Sede Social, headquarters of Santa Sede, headquarters of the church. This was the headquarters of the church and the Inquisition, because the Inquisition belonged to the church. And the story goes like this. If you will be a good Christian, you can be a priest, the ribbon. Or you can be a soldier, the spear. Or you can be a worker, the hammer and the plier. If not, we will tie you with a rope, beat you with the ribs, and burn you on the stake. Be aware of us. And this is something that they don't show to tourists. They don't want you to know that Barcelona was such a terrible place. They want tourists to think that we have the Roman and then we have Gaudi. Yeah, completely. It belongs to the state was not the you have to see them we had to obey them if we wanted to stay alive. We go there to the Jewish Quarter now. What is this building? This is the church on the other side. The same church that we saw there, that was reformed. The Cathedral of Barcelona was reformed. I will show you. The Cathedral of Barcelona looked like this in 1887, and Barcelona became rich country, so they just added a facade of a Gothic style. And this was finished in 1930. So this is 20th century Gothic.
We purchased wine this morning at the Chabad store. Yeah.
I just want to show you the old stone from 13th century and the new stone that was added here in 19th, 20th century to show to everybody that we have Gothic in Barcelona. There was no Gothic at all. Gothic is Gothic too.
Well, see, you can use the castanets. I want to see if you can dance.
This is to sell to tourists. It's a civilian music. It's not from here.
Una es...
So here to your left, this is the government of Catalonia. It's sitting on top of the Jewish church. The Jewish Quarter was below this. Here enters the Jewish Quarter. The ribbon is not because of Israel. The ribbon was here when there were Catalan prisoners. Since 2017,
Carrer is calle.
Carrer is calle in Catalan. Yeah.
We're so hyper-focused that, you know,
So this is, you know it, this is the store of Chabad for wine and book.
They were sort of open earlier today.
These are all from German.
ladies and gentlemen. How somebody was telling the Star of David, or the Yarmik, the one.
No, we have no idea about it. But in general, it's like every other place in the world. Here you have the name Sepharad, written with Hebrew letters, in the form of the Iberian Peninsula. Samech Peresh Daled. And inside, if you look, this is Zayin, Chaf, Vav, Resh, Zechor Sepharad. Remember Sepharad, this is a logotype of Jewish community. You will find it in other places, I'm sure.
Like this logo.
This logo. And they explain you already the Juderias. Judio is a Jew, right, in Spanish. Juderia means in Spanish Jewish Quarter, Jewish Ghetto. So all around Spain you have this, in Toledo and wherever you go, in Girona also. And Juderia is everywhere beside Catalonia. In Catalonia, the name of Jewish Quarter is Call, C-A-L-L. Calle is a street. Callis in Latin was narrow street. So in Catalonia, the name Kai becomes the Jewish Quarter, Jewish Ghetto. And we have the major Kai. It was here, yeah, it's from the top. It was here, and there is a major Kai. And then there are expulsion of Jews from France. They arrive here, there is not enough space, so the king in 1275 gives the Jews another Jewish. What is the minor Kai? Here there were 4 synagogues, here there was 1. After 1391, the Jews who stayed here were allowed to live just in the minor, but not as Jews, as forced converted Jews, but to have this place. So all these were houses that were facing inside. It didn't have a way out. It didn't have door outside. Besides, in one place, here there was a door because the doctor and the midwife went here to take care of the king and the queen and all the stuff over there in the palace. Let's continue to see other places in the Jewish Quarter.
Anything like left of any of the synagogues.
There is one synagogue that is a museum. I will show you the place.
Number 5.
You've been there, no?
We have not been inside. Always closed.
It was closed. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday
Supposed to be open tonight.
Yes,
but I don't
yes,
know.
yeah, I think so, but you never know with it. Yesterday was the day that Mary went to the sky.
And earlier today there were fireworks going on,
Yes,
Yeah.
music.
yes, I know. It was
Crowds.
frightening. It was, I think, the day of the saint of this neighborhood. I was very frightened, but everybody continued as if nothing happened.
Absolutely.
Anyway, here you see a door. This is the government of Catalonia. The door leads to a chapel to St. George. And look here at the map of the Jewish Quarter. It is here. The chapel sits on top of Synagoga Poca, Escola Chica. On top of the small school, the small shul, they built the chapel. It was small. So about the word shul, anyone know what does it mean, shul? Synagogue, what does it mean, the word? You don't know, you all know shul is synagogue. But you know what is seichel or sechel? Seichel in Yiddish?
Yeah, to have brains.
Brain, what you have inside the brain, intelligence. The word sechel comes from Mishle, the book of Mishle. It is Hebrew. From sechel you have haskala, learning, being educating, have a lot of education. The word haskala in Hebrew is escola in Greek. Escola becomes escuela in Spanish, école in French, school in English, shul in German and in Yiddish, sometimes we say shul. Ishkola in Hungarian, Skola in Russian, Skola in Portuguese. Most of the language, the word school come from Sechel. It's beautiful. No?
Can I record this? Do you mind if you repeat this? My 12-year-old would appreciate it. Because
so
he speaks.
crazy.
Do you mind if you
want to record?
Thank you.
Okay. Do you know what shul means? So you don't know probably, but you know what is seichel. Seichel in Yiddish, seichel in Hebrew means intelligence. And intelligence is, the word seichel comes from Mishle, but it became haskala, which means knowledge, being knowledgeable, educated, having a lot of haskala. And haskala in Hebrew become eskola in Greek. Eskola become escuela in Spanish, école in French, school in English, shul in German and in Yiddish, Ishkola in Hungarian, Skola in Russian, and Skola in Portuguese. Isn't it amazing that in all languages they say school comes from Sechel?
Thank you. I love it. I think that.
You know, I didn't know it. We have in Israel an expert for this kind of language, of word. And some of the people that visited me told me the story, and I said, I have to include it. It's so amazing.
It is.
It's so amazing.
Because we use words and you don't realize what word is derived from.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the
everyone's background.
You know, for example, you have the word brush. You know, new language by Benjamin, the brush in English became mivreshet.
Brush. Oh, hairbrush. Okay.
Hairbrush, mivreshet. He knew 8 languages, and he took languages that are similar and he put it to Hebrew because you don't have hairbrush in the Bible.
Да, друзья, у моей жены все родственники
So here we arrived to the oldest house in Barcelona that is still in use. This house is from 12th century and it belonged to the family Arad. I mentioned them as the family that lended money to the king. They lived here. This was bought by an American family, and they found, you can see there are 3 levels. In each level they found the place of the mezuzah. And they bought it and they gave it to an organization named Mosaika that organized cultural activities concerning Jewish community, concerning Judaism, Israel, and everything. So we will see where they are.
We can go into the business?
Here you have to stay with me. So here you can see the organization Mosaika, the Casa Arad, the house of the Arad family, and that's organized festival, Cinema Joel, Jewish Film Festival, Organization for the Peace, things like that. And where you stand, you can see the beginning of the street. Over there, this is where the street started and this is where the street ended. It is the main street and you see how small it is. And left to the entrance, you can see, actually, I don't see here the mezuzah.
It looks has a residue.
Yeah, it looks like there was something, but I don't know how old it is. Anyways, the name of the street was
That's a fact. That was your creation.
the name of this street was the Butchery Street because the kosher butchery stood in the entrance. And it was like this until August 5th, 1391. Let's go to see what was the next name. There are 3 names here. You can see here the name of the street that became later Calle of Saint Dominic, the main street of the Caille, Carrer Saint Dominic, Carrer Street in Catalan. And it was like this until it became Carrer de Salomó ben Adret, that you can see there. And I want to speak about this person. So, after about pictures, I will tell you. So who was Shlomo ben Adret? First of all, ben Adret means Salomon in Catalan. In Catalan, the N, the dot, everything that is finished with N or I-O-N in English, in Catalan it is with I-O-N.
But Shlomo is
Shlomo
in
is
Yiddish,
Salomon.
right?
No, Shlomo is in Hebrew. Shlomo is Hebrew. Salomon or Salomon in Catalan, it is without N, right? Catalan. So, who was he? First of all, Ben Adret, son of the family Adret.
Yeah.
He lived from 1235 to 1310 and was the chief rabbi of Barcelona 40 years. But more than that, if you add up for rabbi and you make initial, it is Rabbi Shlomo ben Adret Rashba. Rashba was the best expert of 13th century to halakha question. Halakha is the unwritten Torah. If it is not written, you need somebody to help you to understand what it means.
So this is really named after the Rashba.
Exactly. Rashba was born in this house. And so he was the chief rabbi of Barcelona and the best expert of the world to halakha. He received letters from all the Jewish communities of the time asking him about what to do in each case, and he answered 3,000 answers. And there was nothing on his name until November 2018. Less than 6 years ago, this was the street of San Domenic. The same that in this day this was destroyed, this ghetto. So what happened in 2018? We celebrated 100 years of the Jewish community. Now, 30 years ago, the Jewish community heard there was a new square in Barcelona. We went to the municipality, we told them we want it to be a name of Rashba. He's the most important Jew who ever lived here, and they say, oh, we are so sorry, we have another candidate for this square. His name is John Lennon. John Lennon received the square. Rashba waited and waited and waited, and he received the name of the street in 2018.
This street?
This street is named after Rashba.
No, I'm saying, but then, well, in 2018 it was...
Just from 2018. Before that it was this name. And before that it was a butchery street. And he wrote 3,000 answers. Part of his answers are included in Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
Very important. Now we go here. This is the school of tea. I think maybe in Sunday. This was the main shul. And I don't know why it is closed today. It's not fair because Shabbat ends in 7:30 or 8:30. Anyway, this was the school, this was the main shul here, and what you can see from outside that all the street turns here because this is the
So it's
main...
open sometimes?
It wasn't open while we were here,
It will be
we
open
can't come from
Shabbat and
downtown.
tomorrow, but it will be open on Friday,
but we did see
on
some.
Sunday morning.
Just take a photo.
See,
Yeah, but when it's open, they put here in chart. They explain that this is a synagogue and the mezuzah, I'm not sure it's
No, it's
this
hidden.
was
What
not-
used to be one. and now it's
Yes,
empty.
but it's not the original. I think it was added. So what you can see here is that all the streets turn here because this is the main wall of praying and it was the place to raise it. So this is what was stayed now. We will continue. Arabic, the dedication to Rabbi Shmuel from Sardinia. We know he was a wealthy person who lived here. He had several houses, and he left here a charity house to the Jewish community. And then Nun Bet Tav, 3 letters, represent initial that nobody is exactly sure what it means. So they give you here 4 possibilities that all of them in Hebrew start with Nun Bet Tav, like he who is generous thrive, may he remain joyful, may his soul rest in paradise, or his life burns perfectly.
You said he loved him. I'm continuing. Sorry.
The Nun Bet Tav, you see, Nun Bet Tav, 3 letters that are initial that in Hebrew, Nero Boyer Tamim, all of these sentences in Hebrew start with Nun Bet Tav.
You said that he left a charity house?
Yes, this was a charity house for the Jewish community. After he died, he left the house to the community.
It's still wrong now?
It is a private, it was reformed for a private apartment.
I just don't have internet, and neither of us have internet.
Did you want to use my phone? My internet's
Have
working.
service?
Yeah, I think so. Shows bars.
Do you need that?
Oh, mine.
Can I like get someone's hotspot?
Oh, if you know the number, you can.
Well, if I can use someone's hotspot.
Here. Oh, we charge because of the roaming thing. Use hers because you're probably better.
I
off.
have internet for sure.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, you want?
Everybody, did you see
You
this?
have your hotspot if you go to cellular.
You want that? It's like the thing from the Haggadah or something.
Go to settings.
Right?
It's okay. If we just 10 minutes, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a Haggadah of Pesach. This house is a museum for the Jewish Quarter, and in the back part they put Haggadah of Pesach. 8 years ago we had a brilliant, amazing exposition of 14 Haggadah, that all of them were done in Barcelona. This is one of them. And I want to show you another one. It's called Haggadah of Barcelona because in the front page they have drawing of the city of Barcelona. And it is now in the British Library in London. And this is another one that is in the British Library that was done in Barcelona. Look at this. What is so strange here?
The flag?
The flag, exactly. Directly a flight from Egypt to Barcelona. From Alexandria to Barcelona. It is so funny. The most known Haggadah from the Haggadah to Barcelona is the Haggadah of Sarajevo. It is in Sarajevo, and you can still today buy the facsimile. Here you have the door that leads to the house of the man that owned this house, Joseph Bonjac, a weaver of silk scarf, and when they cleaned for the museum, they found here, this is the only place in Barcelona that you can see the original place of the mezuzah. And what you see, the mezuzah stands like this, and I want to ask you if you have ever seen mezuzah that stands straight. Have you seen?
Usually goes aside.
This was the tradition in Sephardic houses in Muslim countries. In Muslim countries, till today, in Turkey, in north of Africa, and even in Kazakhstan, the mezuzah are like this. What happened in Ashkenaz, and this is one of the theories, the mezuzah moved, because if you will put a straight mezuzah in Russia, in Poland, in Germany, somebody in the street can make a cross out of it. If it is like this, you can make an X. And this is probably, the rabbi will tell you there was one tradition like this, one like this, and this is a compromise. Yeah. But how come they didn't change it in Turkey or in other places? So probably because of that, Ashkenazi was safer in this kind of places. If it is in the street, in the house, is different. Right. Somebody drew here, I don't know.
Is it ever open?
It's sometimes it's open. No, not every day. We prefer to go to the synagogue and company. It's nice, but not many people go. I have a very interesting map of expulsion of Jews. I want to show you that it was so normal to expel Jews. And you can see here, I have a big baladan with my papers.
You need the binder clips.
Yes, but I want. Anyway. So here you can see that they expelled Jews in England in 1290, and in France 4 times, and in Germany 3 times. The first time is the Black Plague, and then in Hungary, again in the Black Plague, in Lithuania, and Silesia, and Crimea, and wherever were Jews. Besides, the exception is Poland. The Polish king says they are crazy. How they expel the Jews, and he opened the door. The same the Sultan from Turkey. This is why
Hungary also expelled Jews?
Hungary expelled Jews twice. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? So does this mean that, like,
You know that?
This is the
Jews
way
who were
that
in
the Jews
Turkey left from Barcelona?
Yeah, exactly.
And some went through Italy.
Exactly. So where the Jews went, the Sephardic Jews, north of
then they
Africa,
got-
Egypt, Israel, Ottoman Empire, Balkan countries, Hungary, Italy, here, I don't know if this is like this or like this. And
India
Portugal.
also. India as well.
India.
Yes.
Yes, but continue from here. And
India
then
also persecuted the Jews?
No. No.
Portugal expelled the Jews because the Portuguese king wanted to marry the daughter of the Catholic king, and they told him, if you want our daughter, you have to expel the Jews. Let's go under the tree because it is raining now. So, now about when the Jews came back. 1918, World War I is over, and the Jews from this zone speak Ladino, and because of the language they come back to Spain because they can communicate. They know how to speak. Ladino is Spanish from 15th century. Your family, I guess, spoke Ladino? Mm-hmm. And still today, some people in Turkey still do. Anyway, so 1918, the first community is raised here in Barcelona, and then between the two World Wars, between 1923 to 1930, there was a dictatorship of Primo de Rivera, and people from the Spanish parliament travel all around here, and they realize that they hear Ladino, they understand what the Jews speak in the market, in the shops, in the streets. They're so excited about the Jews that keep the old Spanish, so they made in the Spanish parliament a group named Judeophilos, lovers of Jews, admirers of Jews in Spain in 1923. And they made the law of return in 1924. If you can prove that your family came from Spain, from Sepharad, you can get citizenship automatically. It's unbelievable. It was done in Spain. And this law was very important in World War II. In World War II, the Spanish Council in Budapest remember the law of return. He was there from 1940 to 1942, and he issued 5,200 passports to the Hungarian Jews as if they were Sephardic without checking.
Oh, wow.
And wow, I found, after thousands of years, I found a good Spanish to my story. There were not before. From 900, let's say, to 1900. Anyway, so his name was Angel Sandres, angel. He was really an angel. He saved so many Jews. And then, what else about the community of today? First of all, the law of return was renewed in Spain from 2013 to 2018 in Spain, and from 2017 to 22 in Portugal. If you could prove that you came from Sephardic family, you could get citizenship. And then the Jews about the community of today. So the first Jews arrived from this section. The second wave of immigration arrived from Morocco. Part of Morocco was the Spanish Morocco, and in 1957 Spain withdrew from Tangier and from Tetuan. So the Jews from Morocco over there spoke Spanish and came to Barcelona. And then there was dictatorship in South America, Chile, Argentina. People escaped, come either to Israel or to Spain. And in the last 25 years, people come from Israel because it is very much cheaper to live here, and yet it is very close to Israel. You can go there to Pesach, you can go to Rosh Hashanah to bring your parents.
How close are you? How close?
4 hours flight. Like 2 places in America. So your parents can come to visit you, can make babysitter, whatever you like. Anyway, so the community today is about 10,000 people in all Barcelona. We have Orthodox community, we have Chabad community, we have a conservative community, we have Reform community. Many of them are people who converted to Judaism. And we have this Beit David that I mentioned, and one Jewish school. So very small community. Out of these 10,000, half are Israelis, so even smaller if you take into consideration all this weight. But we are here to tell the story, and Am Yisrael Chai, and we are still alive. And this is not very clear, not very evident. So this is the story. If you have more questions, you are invited to ask me more.
Quite a story. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening.
Beautiful tour.
Thank you.
This was so interesting. As tired as you were, we gained strength.
I have to run. So where were we? Because I had internet over there. How do I get there?
You go to the place where you go like this and to the left.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
To give you back because we were a group, so it's less than 100.
Oh,
So I will give you back to you.
this was so fascinating.
Yeah, I know.
I
You know, when
I wish that I wasn't so tired and that we